Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. All right, today we're sitting here in the harbor on the QuiverCast. This is Mike with Zach Rhinehart.
How's it going, guys?
Hello, Zach. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good. Beautiful day today.
Dude, it's like the nicest day in probably 2 weeks.
It definitely in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For sure the nicest day. And the best waves, too.
How was North Jetty? How big was it?
It was like foot overhead, probably. My friend said they had a pretty good time out there. I kind of did the stretch. I had to drive to Encinitas and do some blood work.
Okay.
And the waves look fun everywhere, down the whole, all the way to Encinitas.
Oh, really? So there's like a combo swell, huh?
Yeah, combo swell. So there's little peaks everywhere. All the little shore break spots and nooks and crannies are.
Where'd you see, like, did you go all the way down Coast Highway?
Yep.
Okay. Swami's breaking?
I turned right up Santa Fe before Swami, so
okay.
I didn't see past Pono, but there was some little ones at Pono.
Ah, damn it. And it's glassy.
Yeah, it's glassy all day today.
So when'd you start surfing?
I've pretty much been at the beach, in the water, and on boards my whole life. I got a picture with my dad with me on a board, like when I was like not even one yet, down at the Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. South O?
Yeah, South O. And then I obviously boogie boarded and surfed, longboarded, and the whole deal.
So, your dad surf?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about that. How, was it just beach days? That's all you ever remember?
Yeah, pretty much. We the first house I lived in was right across the street from the Rock, like by Buccaneer Beach.
Yep,
right there.
Yep.
And I just remember going down there and standing on the nose of my dad's board and letting waves wash up under it and letting it slide me sideways and stuff when I was just a little teeny guy, like couldn't even go in the water yet.
Yeah. So that's your first memories?
Yeah, before I could swim, I was on the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have siblings or anything?
I do. I have a pretty big family. I've got 4 sisters and 2 brothers. Okay. I'm the oldest of 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
And anybody else surfing in the family?
Yeah. Let's see. My one brother is in the Marines. He surfs. My other brother Tim, he's more of a skateboarder, but they all grew up at the beach.
Okay.
My sister Casey, she rips on a longboard and a shortboard.
Okay.
Her and her boyfriend, they do the Oceanside Longboard Surfing Club.
Yeah.
So they help run the events and do all of that stuff.
Okay.
So they're pretty involved in the surfing thing around town. They go with the club and they go up to Malibu and they go.
So they're traveling.
Around. Yeah, they travel all the time.
So does she stick just on longboard, or does she kind of mix it up?
For contests, she mostly does longboarding.
Okay.
But she
like
mixes it up. She rides a shortboard. They have a really extensive board collection of longboards and fishes, and she rides for Donald Takayama surfboards.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they got some really
Top
cool
name.
boards.
Yeah. Top like shaper of all time, even though he's not with us any longer.
Yeah, for sure. And,
but they're still shaping off his templates, right?
Yep, they still got the board models going and stuff. My dad used to be friends with Donald, so I remember growing up
Donald
going
right there?
into Donald's shop when I was just a little tiny guy. Like,
do you have any memories of like talking to him or hanging out with him?
Kinda, he's a busy guy. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't really, like, when I was doing my surfing thing, I wasn't really hanging out at the longboard shop. I worked at this little surf shop called Pacific Coast Surf Shop.
Okay.
Since I was like 15, from 15 to 18 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, right?
No, it's not there. It was Pacific Coast Cycles, and now that place
that's gone too
now. Yeah, but that was there for like another 10 years after.
Okay.
We had our little surf shop, but it was it was on the corner of Vista Way and
Vista
Coast
Way.
Highway.
Oh, okay.
Like,
the other
right
side.
when you come into town from Carlsbad.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a fun time. The guy named Ernie Smith, it was his shop, and our buddy Jim Richenbach, and it was like pretty much like a harbor local shop. Like all the guys from the harbor would cruise in there and buy stuff. And
okay.
That's when I started surfing like South Jetty a lot.
So you were more of a South O guy before that?
Yeah, when I was a grandma, I used to surf Cassidy and the pier. Like I had surf PE at the pier, and we surfed the Rock and Cassidy. And
for Oceanside High?
Oh yeah, my buddy Sam had a house right there on Broadway Street, and the whole crew of kids would just be over there after school. And me and him would go surf before school. Okay. At like 6 a.m. and
yeah,
get out at 7:20, and I'd run up and jump in my other friend's car and I was going to Carlsbad High School at that point.
Okay.
Because they had surf PE and Oceanside didn't yet.
Ah,
so
okay.
I got to surf with guys like Banning Caps and Donovan Stapleton, and like they're a couple years older than me, so I got to see some like really good surfing, and so like up my level quite a bit.
So you were trying to be competitive with them?
Not really with them. I was kind of more like learning from them. Like,
okay.
Him and like Chris Struthers and those guys, they were all like who everybody looked up to.
Yeah. So they kind of pushed your surfing then?
Definitely pushed my surfing. Yeah, I was like, I want to do that. Like I seen Chris Struthers, probably one of the first people I saw do airs in front of me, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
What made you switch to go from Oceanside High just for surf PE only?
Yeah, well, I kind
reasons?
of like I was started to ditch school kind of because if you wanted to be a good surfer, you had to get to the beach somehow. So when the waves were good, I wasn't going to school.
Okay, so let's stop there for a second. So, at what age did you want to be a good surfer? When did you say? So was your plan to turn pro? What was that thought process?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a pro surfer. I actually even wanted to when I was like 5 or 6. I think I told my mom I wanted to be a pro bodyboarder.
Okay. You just wanted to get slotted back in the day.
Yeah, it was like looking at Mike Stewart and Ben Severson and these guys.
Okay.
Doing air rolls or whatever, and then obviously I bodyboarded for years and surfed as well. And then I think it was like 6th grade when I was about 11 or 12.
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm surfing now.
Like that's it? No more bodyboarding?
Well, we would still go bodyboarding in the shore break when it was closed out. Skim and stuff. Like do little shove-its or whatever. So
how many hours?
We always messed around on everything.
So you're just a beach guy?
Yeah.
Southern California, even in the winter?
Yeah.
Were you rolling down there and skimboarding?
We had shitty wetsuits, and I think I wore like 2 wetsuits because it was so cold in the winter.
Oh, you had to layer it?
Yeah, I had like a spring suit and then a full suit I'd put over because the full suit had holes. And we'd go before school. And just charge it.
And then, so I'm trying to picture this. Like, so whatever the conditions were made you choose what you were going to do that day.
Exactly.
Or if the tide dropped, all of a sudden put the bodyboarding down on high tide and you're going on the outside surfing.
Or like if it was super high tide backwash, we'd jump off the rocks and ride the backwash out and like do flips. It was super fun.
So you're that was your life. That was just entertainment. 100%.
Hanging at the beach. Yeah, that was it. That and skateboarding.
So where did skateboarding fit in? South Wind days or something?
Pretty much, it was almost an everyday thing. My dad always had a skateboard and a surfboard around, and he'd like tell me to jump out and bomb this hill and follow the truck, and I would just bomb the hill and like cruising around.
Rad.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. And then I didn't really get into. My mom and dad split up. She got remarried, and we moved to Vista for a few years when I was like 5th grade to 8th grade, and I met some friends out there that skated, and me and my buddy, we just like really got into skating. Like, so we were just skating around town and this and that. And then when I moved back to the beach in 9th grade, met some friends, and they built this ramp in the wood shop at Oceanside High School.
Okay.
And they gave us the frame because they couldn't keep it at their house, and then we put it in my friend Sam's backyard for a while, and then finally our buddy Corey Burson, his dad's like Jeff Burson, he's Buccaneer local, he's like, you guys can put the ramp at my house. And so we all went over there, worked on it, and had this mini ramp. And so that was like, that really helped step up my surfing game. And Derek Bockelman, like we all would hang out, skate the mini ramp, we'd go to surf PE, then come home, skate the ramp, and it was like a daily thing.
Okay, so what age is that? You're talking 9th grade, you said?
That was like maybe 10th grade.
10th grade?
Yeah, 9th, 10th grade.
Okay. And that formed the way you surf? You went, because you have a different style.
Yeah, I'm more into like airs and stuff like that, I love turns and barrels. That's like the best, obviously. But you can only do the same turn so many times before you want to try something else. And I remember people getting mad at me because I'd try stuff and I'd fall.
And they're like, you blew the wave, or would they?
After a while, I would make everything. And then they're like, all right, well, can't really say anything now because you're not falling.
Now, who's saying? Is it randoms or like you're like the guys you knew? Your
some
buddies?
People I know.
Okay.
And then other people like Mike Cottrell. I remember when he first moved back down here, he moved down the street from me, and my mom was selling all these, my stepdad's old surf magazines. And he came over, and that's how I met Mike. He's like, hey, what's up with these magazines? And he bought a bunch of them. He's like, I remember this one in particular. It was the winter of El Nino '83.
Yeah,
and that was like the sickest magazine I can remember. Like it had all the spots and like all the destruction of the coastline, and so that's how I met Mike. And he said to me, "You know what? Just keep doing those tricks and airs you're trying." He's like, "That's gonna be your niche." And then eventually it was. I got invited to do some of the Surfing Magazine air shows and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of that stepped my foot in the door to make a little bit of money and be able to surf for a few years.
You were doing futuristic stuff. What years are this? What year are we talking? When you're trying to do the experimental aerials and stuff?
I wasn't doing really experimental stuff, just stuff I saw, like Tim Curran and those guys doing. Like
Timmy Curran, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't until I was like
more straight airs?
Yeah, straight airs and, grabs, backside airs, and then, then it turns into rotations, and then probably around... I was actually doing the air shows and seeing all the different guys' styles, and everybody had their certain air they were good at. Mm-hmm. And then as you surf with all these different people, with Rat Boy and Barney and all these guys,
Santa Cruz
Eric
guys,
McHenry, all the Santa Cruz guys, I always looked up to them. Flea and Jamie O'Brien came over, did the air show in Newport, and like seeing him do the first rodeo at the first air show, it was like that Monster Mush. They held it and they didn't even have a permit, and they got in trouble for that kind of. But
oh well.
It led into this progressive movement of people trying new tricks because everybody wanted to have a new trick to beat the other guys,
right?
In the end of the contest.
So where were you at in that?
I was kind of just I was surfing against some of my favorite guys.
Okay.
So
were you starstruck at first, or were you just like gun ho? I'm going to beat these guys.
The first one I did, I was like, I'm going to beat these guys. You have to have that mentality, otherwise you never will beat them.
Okay,
I got invited to the U.S. Open. They actually let the WCT surfers or QS guys go against the air show guys, and they had an air show separate, and all the air show guys
air show guys with the QS guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the CT guys?
I got to surf with Andy Irons, Bruce Irons, Kelly Slater.
Because they were good at doing theirs too, right?
I ended up making the final. I think I got third. It was
that's so
Gavin
rad.
Bestian, first place, Eric McHenry, then myself, and then Corey Lopez.
Okay.
So like 3 of the air show guys made the final, and then Corey obviously he's one of the best air guys ever.
Yeah.
He obviously made the final. But he was the sole CT guy that made the final, and then it caused this controversy. And then
what's the controversy?
Just I don't know, like they're just doing airs or this or that, And that contest, the waves were really small.
Okay.
And I think it was the first contest Adriana D'Souza won the regular division of it.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. That was kind of a long time ago now. I think that was 19.
That's rad though.
That was like 19 when that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What year is that? Do you remember what year though?
97.
97.
Yeah,
okay.
97.
Wow. How did Kelly and those guys? Were they able to accomplish the
yeah,
they do airs.
I paddled out with Josh Slay was in my heat, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe how many people are on the beach." And
how rad was
wasn't
that?
really looking, and then once you're out in the water, you actually see.
Yeah.
And man, it was pretty intense being out there. I was like, "Oh my god, I got to do something."
So did the family come down and watch you or anything?
No, my buddy Jeff Simonson, my filmer buddy, he drove me up there. We drove up together, and then we just hung out. We had to drive back up 2 days. First, we had to do the trials in Newport, and then went up there and did the contest. And
so the trials is what got how many guys around the trials?
I forget. Okay. I think there would be like 45 people in the.
And then they cut it to what?
Contest, and then I'm not sure. The trials might have had more guys.
Yeah, like
60 guys or something.
How many were able to go to the U.S. Open the following day?
I think I really don't know the number on that one.
Okay, that's fine.
Not too many of them though.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Maybe like 10 guys or something.
And they had it arranged already. They should still do that.
Yeah, it would be rad. I mean, they have their own way they're doing it. They kind of have their monopoly on their surfing they got right now with their guys that they push, and whoever's sponsored by Rip Curl or whatever.
Well, kind of Rip Curl's kind of owning it.
Yeah,
they're the ones
they're owning it.
Yeah.
Obviously, definitely.
We can talk about that too. Okay, so that's fascinating though. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like. They were like, whoa, we need to keep that separate from us.
So they did it for 1 year and they
so they did like 3 or 4 years or 5 years of the air shows, and then it just got cut out somehow.
But I'm talking about the U.S. Open part. Just 1 year?
Yeah, I only got to make it up there. Yeah, they only did that one time.
Huh. Dude, they should do something like that now.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They got to mix it up because it's getting stale.
I would think they should have an air show series here, just in Southern California.
Okay.
There's tons of guys that.
What would you do with that? If you were running it, well, how would you arrange that?
I don't know. It seems like it'd be pretty easy. There's all kinds of guys that used to arrange contests, but now with the COVID and all this stuff, I guess it's opening up. So they're starting to have surf contests again. So there's definitely room for somebody to do it.
Okay. Would you leave that in with like a local regular contest and then just have an air division?
Yeah, they could almost do it through like the board riders clubs or something like that, and have their certain guys from each town. And
that's right. That's a great idea.
They could have their own little trial and then send the guys from each town, 2 or 3 guys or something. And
so now the board riders have age brackets, but they could almost do no age aerial air show.
Let everyone from every age do an air thing. That would be really cool. And even let the girls do it too. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Huh. Never even thought about that. That's freaking awesome, dude. They should.
They could even make it, team style, where everybody's points add up to one and goal in the end, and whatever team accumulates the most points wins.
They should just run it the same way as they do the teams now.
Yeah.
With the 4 guys, or they can even do 2 guys in air or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's an awesome idea. All right.
Hopefully
they hear this.
Thinking about this forever.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I never thought about it once, but it's
put it in the back of my brain. Yeah, me and Eric. I was roommates with Eric McHenry when he was winning.
No, that's the guy who used to surf revolt and stuff all the time too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy.
He wins all kinds of contests. He's an amazing surfer.
Yeah, I know the guy.
He's a classic character.
So my son would surf the revolt, and he would always dominate.
Yeah, Mick would always dominate. He's funny too. He'll show up at the beach with his football and a couch sometimes, and just he's like, we're just having a fun day at the beach, and then he'd win the contest. He'd hang out all day and have the family down there. Yeah, super fun.
Okay. So what about anything else about the air shows? Tell us about them. Where'd you guys do some of the air shows?
Let's see. I think I never did the Salt Creek one, but they'd have
that'd be fun.
54th Street, 56th Street.
Okay.
They had one in Oceanside. Josh Kerr ended up winning, and I think Eric McHenry actually broke his ankle in that one. He made the final and he's like, why are we going to surf right now? It was the afternoon and the waves were really shitty.
Yeah.
And he's like, we have tomorrow still. Why can't we surf in the morning?
Yeah.
And they made him go out in the afternoon. And he's like, someone's going to break their ankle out there. And he literally went out there and broke his ankle.
Oh, dude.
And then Josh Kerr won that contest and the championship that year. I think that was the last year of the air shows.
I kind of missed it because I was an air guy.
It's really exciting to watch.
All right, let's go to air show, guys. Okay.
Yeah, all right, air shows.
Tell us about air shows.
Super exciting to watch. Everybody's trying their hardest to do the best thing they can. It's kind of like when you're watching Italo or Gabriel Medina surf. Okay. You're expecting something sick to happen, and if it doesn't, it's still exciting.
All right.
And everybody was doing that. So every heat, everybody's going for their best thing that they know how to do. Yeah.
And landing it consistently?
Yeah, and a lot of landing consistently.
Okay. So and then let's just talk about Josh Kerr, because he's the only one to ever really come off that and go to the CT, right?
Yeah.
So
correct.
And dude, he's ripping right now.
Oh, he's freaking kills it. He's one of my favorite surfers by far.
Dude, I just watched a video of him from 2 days ago on the Twin Fin.
Yeah.
Dude, he's surfing better than he did on the CT.
Yeah, I mean,
he's ripping. That
guy's always
going
to surf. He charges and he does sick turns and amazing airs.
And then his daughter's ripping too.
Yeah, she's already a legend.
Yeah. Heat wise, air show versus traditional 3 to the beach. You're just trying to stop that one big.
Yeah, I mean, but if you get that certain wave that's not good for an air, guys are still doing sick turns, And,
are they counting those? Not really.
If it was just so that you would get scored against the whole round of people, not just the guys in your heat.
Okay. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get.
So you technically only get scored for airs, but if you did a huge blowtail turn or something, you'd still get a score.
So it's not just the 4 guys in your heat or the 6 guys, whatever.
Yeah, you're going against the whole round.
Oh, okay.
And then as it goes to the semis, the first round, it's everybody against everybody.
Okay.
They just place everyone throughout the heats, and then, next.
That might sound good on this, actually.
That was pretty funny.
That's
people and their dogs. That never gets old either.
Dude, my dog, he's a 155-pound Mastiff.
Oh, that's a good-sized dog.
Neapolitan Mastiff. And
that's as big as me.
Yeah.
I'm weighing 161 right now.
His mouth is this big.
Wow.
No joke. It's the best family dog, but I got to watch him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's super guardy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he could hurt somebody really badly.
This lady's coming up on him next.
All right. Dude, you're the first one I ever talked to, like an air show thing. I'm totally fascinated by
Cool.
it. So I'm just stoked. Anything else about the air shows?
I just thought it was really cool, the camaraderie, getting people together. You know, it's kind of like the board riders thing, but it's just
Okay.
a couple guys or a person from each town up and down the coast. Like a couple San Clemente guys, like Justin Madison, Christian Fletcher. You know, Joe Cremo was up in there doing his shove-its, and yeah, it was pretty sick to get everyone together and then watch the amount of cool stuff that went down throughout the 2 days or the day of the event.
Okay, and then how many years did you do it?
I think it was like
Did you do it the whole 3
3 years. No,
Oh.
I didn't. I got into it at the end.
Okay. And how'd they choose you guys?
It was kind of like an invite only.
So,
thing.
like, if
it was
you were in the
Surfing
mag or
magazine.
something?
Yeah, it was Surfing Magazine, Surfing Air Show series. So kind of everybody. Actually, the way I got into it is Bill Bryan actually put in a good word for me.
Okay.
I think it was Skip Sneed or Darren Brillhart. You know, and those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys let me do the first one, and then the best I
And
ever
you showed up, so then you kept going.
Yeah, and the best I ever did was I got second place.
That's
at,
rad.
Newport.
You got third in the U.S. Open?
Yeah, I got third in the U.S. Open one. That was my first one that I did.
Yeah.
So that kind of set me off. They're like, all right, this kid fucking
Yeah,
did
you're in.
good. Like,
Yeah.
he's allowed to come to the next one.
That's so rad. I'm stoked. That's
And Gavin Sutherland, Jock Sutherland's son, actually, he's a good friend. He got first place in that one. He won like $5,000. I think it was $5,000 for first place. And I got $2,500 for second place. Yeah, it was killer. It was like the most money I ever had at that point. You know, I was like, yeah, all right, making money surfing.
So did you get in the magazine after that?
Yeah, I actually had a couple ads before.
So you're kind of known?
Started doing, yeah, I was kind of known a little bit. So, Jamie Stone was working for Transworld, and he got me my first checkout. I had like pretty good size alley-oop. I was like on a borrowed board and using my friend's wetsuit, and I got this huge alley-oop. My friend Eric Blackhurst took the photos, and
Rad.
Jamie did a little interview checkout with me and got me my first thing in the magazine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where to go from there? Did you get a lot of magazine coverage? Or?
I got a little bit. I got a few ads and then a couple editorials. I got like I got a shot in the Big Surfer magazine doing Air at Blacks. And I got like a double page spread in Transworld at the Box in Western Australia.
Oh, you surfed the Box?
Yeah, Dave Troyer took the photos. Yeah, I went over there with Jason Bennett. Like, what year was that? Like 2005, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about that
great.
wave.
It's pretty insane. Backside.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's heavy. I didn't surf it that big, but it was it's overhead. And
Yeah.
overhead's good enough there. It's spitting barrels. Yeah. You take off back, the water's super clear there. So you take off and you're looking straight down at the reef, and it's like a foot deep.
And it's just straight ledge?
Yeah, so front side it seems like it wouldn't be as scary because you're looking at the wave rather than straight down at the reef on the takeoff. So you're like poking it down and trying to make it for sure.
So did you make them all, or you got hammered, right?
Luckily I didn't eat shit.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I like made sure that I made the couple waves that I got.
How was the first drop?
Yeah.
Do you remember
like
the first wave?
Yeah, I just remember going and
Just knifing it?
All right, it's my turn, and just poking it down and staring right at the reef. It was like shimmering gold, like because the reflection. It's like a pool, right? But the reef's like right there, so it was like,
Oh my god,
it looked like it was
that's
gonna
the scariest
do a
wave on
face
earth.
plant right in the concrete, pretty much. If you fell.
have you surfed pipe?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, I was gonna have you compare them, but all right.
Yeah, I've never surfed pipe. Never got the invite. And never forced myself to go over there and do it.
Would you want to?
I would. I used to want to. Now that I've like gotten older and I've gotten hurt, and I don't really need to go do that.
Okay.
I'd rather stick to the beach break stuff that I know. Like, there's some beach breaks that are even too gnarly for me at this point. Like I'll surf them small, but I don't need to be going out at like 20-foot Porto.
You're not trying to get hurt.
No, not trying to get hurt at all.
Yeah. So why did you and Jason go to the Box? Why were you guys there?
We went on a trip with Transworld. Dave Troyer and Brian Conley was with us. John Robertson and a guy from Encinitas, I want to say, Eli Mirandon. And we went over there like a month before the tour goes over there.
Okay.
So we're hanging with the local boys, the Beer Fridge guys, Carl and Gabe, and Scotty Bauer, the photographer over there. And it was fun. They showed us around. We surfed a bunch of different spots, and it was really cool. Gas Bay and Bougie and the Box and a couple other spots.
Did you surf Margaret River?
Surf Market River. It did not have too much fun there. It's just
Why?
It's a weird wave. Yeah, it's just sharky and weird.
Well, it's just like 100 yards
You're
over,
way
right?
out there. You're way out in the ocean, it feels like.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's
And
hard to line up?
And then the box is obviously right across the wave.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
The box is like right on the reef. You don't feel like you're out in the middle of the ocean where you feel like you're in the middle of the ocean when you're at Margaret River. It's kind of...
How do you line up with the waves coming? Is it harder?
Well, I'm sure if someone gave you some pointers and you knew where to line up, it might help. But we just went out there and like... It was
figured it out?
well overhead, and
that's so
trying
funny.
to catch a couple waves. Jason got some good waves. He surfed the South Reef a couple times, and
okay.
And then there's a bigger day we surfed the Bommy out the back, and that was pretty fun. Jason and I paddled out from the beach actually, which is pretty fucking dangerous. We were like going out, and like it's like 30 feet deep, and they had just seen like a white pointer or whatever they call white sharks over there, and we're paddling out there, and we're like, this is a bad idea. And so we made it out there, and we got some good waves that day. Actually, it was pretty sick.
That's funny. You're a member of the Oceanside Board Riders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't gotten to do any of the stuff. I was sick last year when they started the Board Riders, and then the COVID happened, so they shut it down. And so hopefully everything starts up again, and I can get down there and be down there and root everyone on at least.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about is there anything else about being a pro surfer? Or just the air shows you bum when they ended it?
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer because it was like, all right, now what are we going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what did you do? Where did that put you in your life?
I think I just started getting video clips and trying to just hang on to the couple sponsors that I had, you know? And
okay. Were they leaving you?
Just keeping surfing, really. Like, yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're just a surfer.
Yeah, at the end of the day, just a surfer. Like, I'm not trying to be pro or anything. Like, I just love surfing, and so if I can make a little money on the side doing it, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, get free product and, you know, boards and
But if you had nothing, you'd still surf?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any sponsors now. Well, I got some people that hook me up with some boards
friends
and stuff. Yeah, my buddy does Quiver surfboards. He hooks me up with boards, and my friends hook me up. Jamie Stone hooks me up with low tide gear for my accessories and things like that. So I still got some hookups. Okay.
So anything about the surf industry? It's kind of changed a lot, especially in the last few years.
Yeah, they kind of tightened up shop on everybody. Like the teams used to be pretty vast. Like every company would have a couple kids in town that they sponsored, and then now they got pros that moved to the towns. So there's no room to even hook up a kid when you got Jordy Smith living in town, or Josh Kerr moves into Carlsbad. Like, Rusty's not going to sponsor some kid from Carlsbad if they got Josh Kerr.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how that works.
Yeah. They're not going to, I get that. What about anything else about pro surfing today? Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. I watch the contests all the time. I think it's great. It'd be nice if there was something for everyone around here, the kids that want to come up, if there was smaller events that they could do or whatever, you know?
Yeah, more local, you mean?
Yeah, more local events.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you want to be a part of the big deal, you got to do the QSs and...
Well, you got to do NSSA.
And
WSA.
Start. Yeah, right now you got to start from a little guy. Like, be coached and, like, the whole deal.
So let's talk about that then. So you were raised in the water.
Yep.
Wanting to be a pro surfer at 5 or 6, you said, right?
Yeah, pro bodyboarder, surfer. Anything in the water is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I loved, like, Jacques Cousteau, if I could have been a diver or anything in the ocean. Yeah. Okay. I was super into marine biology and stuff like that when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah. Love anything that has to do with the ocean.
Then the skateboarding. But were you, like, coached to be where you became?
Not really. I did have
happen?
friends, like my buddy Ernie that had the surf shop. He's kind of like my coach, mentor. He had the surf shop. He got me sponsored, got me the gear, and he's like, you need to do this. You need to surf South Jetty. This is where Rob Keith shoots, and this and that, you know. And I never got a shot with Rob Keith, but I was down there, and that's, you know. And then, surfing the pier, that everyone started coming to the pier and bringing the guys to shoot photos of, like Mark Kozai and these guys. And I remember specifically one day him telling my buddy, tell Zach he's not going to get in the magazine if he snakes my guys. And I literally paddled by him and flipped him off after my buddy said that to me. And then Mark was just like, God, that Zach guy. But we became friends down the line. I was like, all right.
So do you have an attitude because they're at your house?
Just paddle out and sit in front of me and snake me at my spot.
Oh yeah, that's bullshit.
I'm not having it.
Yeah,
I still won't have that to this day. If you do that to any of the locals around here, I will say something personally if I see it.
So you're not okay. Let's talk about that localism. How was it when you were growing up? Was it heavy?
You know, there's always locals. It used to be gnarly back in the day. Like, I wouldn't even, when I was a little guy, I wouldn't go surf next to the pier when the big boys were over there. You know, like let the guys have their waves, and then when no one's out, you go get your waves, and then eventually you're
the guy.
You're the guy, yeah.
Yeah.
If you put your time in and you're respectful, and yeah, you earn your spot in the lineup. You got to earn your spot in the lineup. You don't just get to paddle out on the north side of the pier.
Is it more?
And go sit right in front of Jason Bennett or something. It's like,
okay. So it wasn't.
I'm gonna say something. Even Jason's so nice, he won't. But I can't bite my lip. I'll be like, dude, what do you think you're doing? Like, you're out here to share the waves with us, or you can go down the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people don't like that one.
Okay.
They always say,
are you talking about guys that can actually surf, or are you talking about like cougs?
You know, both.
Okay.
I've gotten in a lot of arguments at the pier.
All right. What about fights?
I really haven't gotten in any fights at surfing.
Okay.
A lot of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe one time I got in a fight with this bodyboarder guy who spit in my face, and then I think that might have been the only time that I actually punched somebody.
Well, spit on you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? You're gonna snake me, and now you're gonna spit on me?
And you're a bodyboarder?
Hitting you.
Oh, you're
yeah.
Just kidding, bodyboarders.
I love bodyboarding too.
So, you're an established air guy. You're an established surfer. You're ripping. Were you still busting out the boogie board? Or the bodyboard?
I haven't ridden a bodyboard in years. I think maybe...
I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about like at your peak when you're like established in the magazines.
Oh, no. I stopped riding the bodyboard like when my buddy had that house at Cassidy Street. That was when we were in high school. We'd still go mess around in the shore breaks.
But then kind of stopped?
Yeah. When that little era was over, and it was just only surf.
Okay. What if it was like super high tide and just kind of like...
Yeah, still never bodyboarded for years. Yeah, like...
Okay.
15 years or something.
Is it interesting now?
Touched it.
Intriguing, maybe?
Yeah, if the water's warm or something,
yeah.
you can just go out and get some closeout shore breaks for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I actually had a lot of fun. It was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my buddy Rudy and I were down in Cabo, and we were at this little spot, and the shore breaks looked really fun, and we were like, it looks too small to surf. And we grabbed the bodyboards and went out there, and we were just getting these little crystal blue barrels and just laughing and having so much fun. And then I was like, pretty sure this is big enough to surf. I'm going to get my board.
Okay.
And then switched it out, but we had a really fun time.
So did it bring you back to being a child again, or?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
It was just like having
just
fun.
Goofing off.
Break. Yeah, goofing around.
That's rad.
Yeah, super fun.
Okay. So then we're talking about pro surfing. You watch it today. Is there anything you think they would change to make it better, or you think it's perfect as it is?
Nothing's perfect, right?
Okay, all right, I agree with that.
I don't want to pick apart their deal because it's obviously a lot of work that everybody does to get their production done and, make something happen for these guys to make some money.
They're making some real money now.
Yeah, I can totally respect all the facets of everything that everybody does, from the announcers to the judges to everybody. But
because you've seen it all in real time.
And then there's little controversy things like Idolo's air or whatever.
Yeah. So what'd you think about that? Was it a land?
For that wave, he got a 12 on that to me.
Really?
But since he milks his waves so hard and always rides out of the whitewash and goes all the way to the inside, I can see how the judges didn't want to give him the make.
Okay.
But
so it was like less than a 2, right?
The air was
like
fucking insane. He landed in the flats and showed control. He stood up out of it.
Right.
Like he leaned back like he was going to fall and then stood up out of it, and then the wave just did its thing.
Okay.
And there was no more ride left over.
So your book, it's a 10 plus.
Well, for that wave, that was the best thing that anybody could have done.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
For sure.
I know there's a lot of controversy going on with that.
Yeah.
And my take on it is...
He landed the maneuver. He did not ride the wave out completely. I'll say that.
Do you think it would have been a different score if it was someone else doing it?
If
it wasn't...
If that Grom that did really good in the contest had done that, they probably would have gave it a 10.
Really? So that's a hiccup in judging then, right?
Kind of a little bit.
They're kind of picking the person for... They're choosing, not the maneuver, they're choosing the person for what they can do.
I'd like to see what they would have gave Connor Coffin if he did that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's because Italo's so gnarly, they wanted to see him ride all the way to the
But then they're judging him. They're not judging the wave.
They wanted to see him claim it or something. Like, he should have just, kicked his board out instead of letting the wave wash him over.
Okay.
Because my friend and I were watching the contest, and we saw someone on the wave after, I think it was Connor even, snapped it, and the wave was going to do that, but he shot the board out, so it looked like he was in control.
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been,
that
might have been the finisher. That would have definitely been higher than a 177.
Okay.
Because he would have showed control at the end.
Yeah.
But in my book, he landed it.
Okay.
If I would have done that, I would have been like, yeah, I landed a sick air today.
Like the sickest? Yeah,
it's pretty sick.
So when you're doing the air stuff, and even though you say you like barrels, like there's nothing better.
Yeah.
You like, regular good old turns, nothing better than like straight vert.
Yeah, or a big layback snap. Yeah. Blow tail. Whatever the wave calls for.
Okay.
I like to see a wave, and then you either ride it correctly or you don't.
What's your favorite air wave? 3 foot, 4 foot.
Probably Oceanside when it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nowhere really better.
At a higher tide, lower tide?
It just depends on how the sandbars are. The sandbars are always different somewhere. And,
yeah. How was the sand in South Oceanside when you were a kid? Same as it is now?
There was a lot more sand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a beach.
We used to paddle out. You could get barreled every morning. If it was glassy, you were getting barreled, at least closeout barrels.
Okay. All right.
And then now, won't even break at high tide.
No.
It just sloshes against the rocks, and it's like dangerous to get in and out.
Yeah, it's super dangerous.
But the tide used to come up that high when we were kids too. Like I was saying, we'd jump off the rocks and ride the backwash out.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. We do have a less sand though.
Okay. Now, exposure. Were you always looking for the exposure, or were you more of an underground guy that needed the exposure to make a living?
I never really was looking for exposure.
Okay.
But when you're making money, that's your job, so you're supposed to.
Right.
So I probably could have done a better job trying to call photographers and shoot at Salt Creek and all of this, but I just wanted to surf at home and do my thing.
All right.
That's what I did. Just surf Oceanside, and I'd go down to La Jolla, surf blacks and stuff. And
you're staying in this 40-mile radius?
Yeah, exactly. We'd go surf trestles a bunch. And speaking of the military base, we got the helicopters.
Literally 20 yards away.
Yeah, we could throw a rock over the
fence. But at heart, you're an underground guy.
Yeah.
You just want to surf.
For sure.
Okay. And what kind of boards were you riding then? I watched some of your videos last night.
For
some of the YouTube stuff.
So my first sponsor, that was Ernie Smith. He had the surf shop. I rode Ernie's boards for a long time. And then after that, the shop phased out, and my friend Cody King was the team manager for Linden surfboards.
Okay.
And Cody brought me on to Linden, and I got some amazing boards from Gary. He took care of me for years, made me some awesome boards. Probably got some of the best waves I've ever gotten on his boards at Blacks and stuff. He makes these 6.8s and 6.10s that are just magic. You can just butter in behind the peak on them. Yeah, thanks Gary for all the boards and all the time you spent on me.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. My friend started this company, and I helped him do it. 50-50 wave skates. They were smaller boards, not really fish. They weren't swallowtail fishes, but they were short, stubby, thick boards that went really fast, low rocker, and you just could skim across the face a lot faster than a normal board, and they're really loose, and the tails were really thick, and you could just pop off any section.
Okay.
You could do it air on any wave pretty much with those boards. So I rode those for a while, and those are the boards that I started doing, like making up maneuvers and stuff like that.
So that stepped your game up?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
What was like Linden? So my question to you is, like, a guy the same age as you at that in the 90s, let's say, or 2000s, and there was you and another team rider. Were you guys getting two different kind of boards? Were yours more aimed towards doing the airs and the tricks?
Yeah, as you get more and more boards, you kind of refine what works for you.
Okay.
So mine kind of just got shorter and wider.
Okay.
Because I think I was riding like 6.2s or something when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
which was norm.
Which was normal. Everyone was riding that kind of board. But
right.
I was like, it's a little bit long, maybe take it down to a 5.10 and then.
Yeah, which is significant.
Yeah, significant for sure. So the smaller board fits better, and the waves around here, mostly the waves are pretty bad, and you need something that produces some speed.
Yeah. Get down the line.
6.2 is better for like overhead, punchier surf.
Yeah. There's a video on your Instagram though. That's like a killer barrel. Where's that left? You don't have a lot on your Instagram, but it's
that's down in Mexico. That was recent. That was
really.
Yeah, that was Cerritos Beach in Cabo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it looks good.
Yeah, that was the best wave of my trip. This guy, he's like his name was Jesus. I just met him that morning. He's like, "Oh, I got a good photo of you." And I just got this weird little wave, and then I was like, I'm going back out to get another one. And then I got that one. He's like,
nice.
I got some really good photos of you.
Oh, that's cool.
That's that one picture that's on there.
Okay.
But that was my best wave since I had my surgery and got out of the hospital and everything. It took a few months. I'm still trying to get my energy back.
Mm-hmm.
But that one really stoked me out. That was like my, I'm
that's
like,
a
all
good
right, I can
picture.
get barreled again, and it was like a stepping point back.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
So in the future, when you get back and you get a little healthier, I don't know if this is the right word. Sorry. What are you looking to get for like board wise? Do you have any future designs in your head, like what you want to try?
No, I kind of have my boards, my board dimensions on lock that I like. So
Okay,
I know what
you're
I
sticking
like.
with that.
Yeah, and I got a couple different boards. I got like this little twin fin fish from Micah, and a couple other boards that are like more short board style.
Okay.
And then I have my regular quiver boards, the 5.8, 5.10,
Yeah.
little air boards.
And then we're talking about social media. Do you like it or don't like it?
I like it because you get to see everything everybody's doing, but
Okay.
I hate the phone. Like really, I'm like catch myself on it. I'm like, get off that thing, put it away. But I love looking at all the photos and everything.
Okay.
But once it gets into this political crap and everyone
Yeah.
arguing and bickering, man, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And then you're all, it's like everybody says, then you're arguing with your buddy and then not talking to you anymore.
Yeah, it's heavy.
So I try not to. I'm done with any of that stuff.
You just want to surf.
Yeah.
So what else are you looking at besides surf pictures on Instagram? Just like family, like friends?
Yeah, my family and friends, stuff they're doing if they're on a trip, someone's on a trip or whatever,
and then
like National Geographic kind of stuff and fishing stuff.
Does your dad still surf?
He doesn't surf anymore. He's like 60 something, but
Okay.
he lives on the Big Island.
Oh, okay.
My aunt and my dad live on the Big Island. 3 of my sisters and then their husbands and my nephews, they're all over there. So I haven't gotten to go over there yet and visit, but hopefully here
They just
soon.
moved there recently?
My aunts lived there for a while. My aunt lived on Maui the whole time I was a kid growing up.
Oh, rad.
And my dad lived on Maui. I got to go over there and visit like when I was in high school and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
And spent summer over there and surfing Lahaina Harbor and stuff. And
Yeah.
surfing there actually helped me to do airs because that little wave was pretty killer. But
It looks
it's a
good.
localized spot, it's like it's hard to get waves. But if you're staying right there, you can get out there and wait your turn. If you wait your turn, you can get waves anywhere.
So you've been all over the world surfing. Have you ever had a hiccup anywhere? Any problems just for paddling out and not living there?
Not really. I try not to paddle out and go sit in front of
The guys?
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. You're waiting your turn?
You go out and you sit off to the side, wait on the inside, get the scraps, and then figure out who is who in the crowd.
Yep.
Try to observe, and then if it's a weird day, everyone's being all weird, maybe go down the beach or surf the other peak or.
But Maui, it's like you got a reef and then there's nothing.
Yeah. So Honolulu Bay that's a rough spot to surf. If you've never been to the island and no one knows you, you're getting snaked for sure.
Every time?
Oh yeah, pretty much. unless one of the boys invites you out there.
Okay. Okay.
That was my experience there anyway. So I waited all day. And at the end of the day, it was me and one other guy out, and I got a bomb right. It was like right before sunset. I'm like, pull into the barrel. I'm like, this wave's so sick. And the guy just burned me. And I ate shit. That was like my Honolulu experience.
I mean, you were out there for a while too?
Yeah, I surfed like 2 or 3 times that day. I got some fun waves. But
Yeah.
The one that I
The one you
waited
were
all
waiting
day
for.
yeah. I guess that guy was waiting all day too. He wanted it more than I did.
So when you came up, what'd you do? Just like, that's it?
Oh,
or were you pissed?
I was out there in the ocean by myself. I was the last person out. And I got burned, and it was too dark to get another wave. I was like, I'm paddling in, I guess.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It was pretty funny.
Do you have any more goals for your surfing?
I just want to get back, get my energy level back up, and
Okay.
I want to get back over to Indo and get some good barrels.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to get back over to Desert Point. I got to go there.
Really? How was Desert Point?
It was an amazing surf spot. I guess we got it about a 5 out of 10 is what the locals were saying, Booty and those guys.
Okay.
It was bombing. My buddy Derek was getting some mental ones, and then a couple Hawaiian guys. And one Brazilian guy. There was a bunch of Brazilian dudes that were kind of not on the level. They shouldn't even have been out there. They're out there snaking each other and stuff. So
Really?
it can be frustrating, but I got some amazing waves and I had a good time. It was pretty killer.
Yeah.
So I want to go back for sure.
And that's kind of what you're looking forward to?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about? What about any other hobbies besides surfing? Especially right now, you have a little downtime.
Yeah, I don't really
stay off that Instagram.
have any other hobbies right now. You know, I was really low energy. Pretty much for a year, all I did was go to the doctor. It was like chemotherapy, radiation.
Do you want to talk about that, or?
Oh, yeah, we can a little bit.
Okay.
So
yeah, just touch it.
I went to Desert Point for my 40th birthday.
Okay.
And a couple months prior to that, I started having some like weird eating issues. And I was like, yeah, something's kind of wrong. It feels weird. And I went on the trip, and my friends were like, you need to get checked out when we get back. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'll have to do that. And then I got home, and I had no energy. I thought I was jet lagged and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a week went by, and I was like just down, and all of a sudden I couldn't get water down. It was just trickling down my throat. And so I had to go to the doctor. My friends are like, you need to go to the doctor. My mom took me down to Scripps and Encinitas, and they did all these scans and stuff, and they said I had a golf ball sized tumor blocking my esophagus right where on the edge of my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So then they right away they kept me in the hospital for a week. They put a stent in to bypass the tumor so I could drink water and eat food and stuff. So that was the first little surgery I had. Got that thing put in, and then I started the chemo, the radiation. I did radiation for 5 days a week for like 2.5 months. And every Tuesday I would go in and do my chemo. So it was like drive to Escondido every day, and then Encinitas every Tuesday and Escondido. So it was just like loops and loops to the doctor. And then I'd go get my blood taken on Monday. So I'd do the blood taking thing Monday, chemo Tuesday, and radiation every day. And then I'd have the weekends off.
That sucks.
But yeah, it's after a while, a couple weeks, it starts to weigh on you, and you like feel yourself getting sick, and then you don't want to eat, and I was like, I'd be up all night throwing up, and I was throwing up through this little stent, this metal pipe that they put in me. So I'm thinking like this thing's just gonna like come out one of these times, but it never did. But after they did enough chemo and radiation, my tumor was shrinking. And then I went over to my buddy Jeff's house. Him and Ratty, had me over. We were gonna watch surfing and eat food. And all of a sudden, I started feeling really sick. And they took me to the emergency room. And the stent since the tumor shrank, the stent had fallen and went sideways. So I couldn't like breathe again or like eat or anything. And I just got sick. And then they took that thing out. So that was the next procedure. And then just went on from there. I'm kind of drawing a blank again on the next part.
That's okay.
Oh, so then I was supposed to, that was in November, December, I was doing that. I was supposed to get my surgery in March. Mm-hmm. And they had a benefit for me, the Oceanside Board Riders and my friends and everybody. They had a benefit for me at the Moose Lodge, and all these cool bands came and played and donated their time. And they raised a bunch of money and did some raffles, and that day was the last day that you could go out before COVID hit. Yep. So we thought maybe nobody was going to show up, but everybody showed up, and it really helped me out. And thanks everybody for coming and showing up and supporting on that one. And so then they put my surgery off. It was supposed to be in March. Then all of a sudden it was April, May, June go by, and I'm not doing chemo or radiation, but I'm just sick. And I'm getting weaker, losing weight. I got down to 104 pounds. I lost 60 pounds. And I literally had no muscle. It was just skin and bones. Like, looked like Auschwitz, basically, like concentration camp style. And they were like, all right, you're going to get your surgery. It was April, May, June. I think it was halfway through June. And I went in, and they're like, nope, you don't have enough weight. We can't do it. It's too dangerous.
No way.
And that happened twice. So they had me all ready and prepped to go into surgery. I was like, all right, I'm going to get it done. And it's scary, going into surgery. And then they're like, nope, it's too dangerous. You can't do it. And then I'm like, well, how am I going to gain this weight. And so they gave me a stomach feeding tube, and I had this machine hooked up at my house, pumping stuff right into my stomach, and yeah, it was pretty heavy. And I couldn't gain weight, even with doing that. And then finally, so I went in twice, they didn't do it. And then the third time, they're like, we're going to do it. And then right July 14th, I think July 1st, my insurance and the contract with UCSD, the guys that were going to do the surgery, their contract was up. So I had to file for a Continuity of Care Act thing. And the insurance I have, Molina and UCSD, they since there's no one else in the area that can do that kind of procedure, they went ahead and they did it, and we got it done on July 14th.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I had what was it called? Robot-assisted gastroesophagectomy or something like that. So it was pretty gnarly. They went in through my stomach and my side to go up into my chest, and they removed all the scar tissue and separated my stomach from my esophagus, and then reattached it and somehow got it back together. And I stayed in the hospital for a week, and then they're like, all right, you can go home. And I could barely walk. When I came out of the surgery, the doctor, or when I came to finally, the doctor was like, do you remember when you came out of the surgery and I asked you what your pain level was from 1 to 10? I'm like, no, I don't remember. He's like, you yelled 14. 14. I was like, I don't even remember that.
Kind of good you don't.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't, because that was gnarly. And then I woke up and I had all these scars in my stomach and my side, and I had a drainage tube draining all the fluid out, excess fluid, and it was really heavy. But now it's been almost 8 months. I'm still having problems eating a little bit and stuff, but I'm doing better. I'm holding my food down and gaining weight.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gaining weight. Yeah. And I've September 5th was my birthday, my 41st birthday, and I was like, I'm going surfing on my birthday. So that was a month and a half after my surgery. Wow. And that was a little too soon.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah. I paddled out on a longboard, and it was really tiny. I caught 3 waves, and I should have went in. Just 3 little tiny waves on my longboard, and I was like stoked. And then I went to get up on like my 4th or 5th wave, and my rib cartilage like tore because I had no muscle,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, that was a bad maneuver. I surfed too soon. And then September 14th, we were driving to Baja, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go in the water. I'm gonna let my rib heal. I'm going, and my sister and I and her boyfriend Joey, we all went to Scorpion Bay. And
wow, you charged it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting out of California. This COVID crap, and I just want to be in the desert, away from people.
Okay.
And
understood.
Yeah, so we got down there, and I went surfing, caught a couple waves, and then I pulled my other rib cartilage on the other side.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. So then I hung out and fished, and then a couple weeks went by. We went down and hung out in Cabo. Went to Zippers, went fishing with my friend Pablo, and yeah, at the end of the trip, it was like near the end, I was like, I just grabbed my shortboard and I'm like, I'm going to catch a couple waves at Cerritos today. And they were like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I paddled out and got a couple waves and a couple snaps, and
wow.
I had a good time, and it brought a tear to my eye. I was like, man, I never thought I'd do that again, So that was the beginning, and then I just spent the last couple of months down there and just, trying to build strength back up, and I feel like I'm getting my surfing back, so it's good. So
you're in Mex for the last couple months?
Yeah, well, I've been back for a month now. I haven't surfed since I've been back, but yeah, I was down in Todos Santos area, just hanging out, surfing and fishing.
How much surfing?
Being in the warmth. It was really cold here, so there was no way I was going to surf.
Okay, got you.
Still really skinny.
Yeah.
So I just hung out down there. And
how much surfing were you doing?
I would surf like once or twice a day.
Really?
Yeah, try to get a session in every day.
Okay,
yeah, and
cool.
Then just hang on the beach and be warm.
So how was let's go backwards. Right after your sickness and you went back in the water the first time, right? You said you were just going for it. What was the thought process? Like, screw it, I just need to get in the water?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
A year out of the water, and it's like,
and how was that first wave?
I was never going to surf again. That was like the worst feeling ever. Well, I thought I was going to die, pretty much.
Okay.
Everyone was like, you're not looking so hot. So, yeah, it kind of scared everybody.
No,
Thanks to everyone that helped get me through it. doctors, nurses, my friends, everyone that donated to the GoFundMe and everything. Couldn't have done it without you.
Wow, yeah. So that's heavy. Okay. Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm stoked you're on the water again, surfing.
I'm really stoked too.
So you staying up here for a while? You going back down there?
Yeah, I'm going to be here for a while. Yeah.
And hopefully the water warms up.
Yeah, I've been waiting, but man, it's been weeks and it still hasn't warmed up. It warmed up and then it cooled down, and then today the boys said it was a little bit warmer. So hopefully it starts getting warmer.
Yeah, it's freaking cold yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm still in booties.
Oh yeah, I got my 4.3 and my booties ready to go. I'm
okay.
Not even gonna try to paddle without booties.
All right.
I was wearing my full suit down in Baja. Everyone else was trunking it. It was only 70 degrees. I'll trunk it when it gets like 74, 75.
Yeah.
But
When the wax starts melting off your board, it's time to trunk it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else going on? What's how you doing now?
I'm doing all right. I'm just kind of waiting on this word. I have no more cancer in my chest or anything, but they said I have maybe some swollen lymph nodes in my abdomen, so I'm waiting to get a biopsy on those. Hopefully it's a negative.
Yeah, I hope
not,
so,
we'll
dude.
have to deal with whatever comes next.
Fuck.
But
all right.
it's not, at least I'll be able to eat. The not being able to eat one was just crucial, like pretty gnarly.
Okay. All right. Hopefully the water warms up. You're back in the water soon. Let's go surf.
Yeah, I was ready to go today. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
It's cold, dude.
Yeah, it's cold. I know. That's the one thing but I'm like, all right, everybody else is out there. Stop being a pussy and just get out there.
Yeah. But you were just in Mexico in 70-degree water.
Yeah.
It's not 70.
I know. It's not 70 for sure.
But it's beautiful today for sure. I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit.
If it keeps looking like this, I'm definitely going to be out there tomorrow.
All right. Are you going to surf the pier? Are you going to surf the North Jetty?
I don't know. We'll see
how the waves are.
The least crowded. And
okay.
Yeah, I saw a little spot down the road that.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Fun. Yeah, I don't need to tell anyone.
No.
And it's not an Oceanside.
Oh, it's not? Okay, cool. All right. What about your Instagram? You want people to know your Instagram account?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Rhinehart Zach. There's not much on there, just a couple photos right now. I just kind of phased out of that when I got sick. I didn't really do anything for a year. So.
Okay.
But I'll be posting new stuff on there for sure.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for doing the interview.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Dude,
really
that was rad, man.
Yeah,
I
super,
really
that
appreciate
was fun.
it. All right.
Sick.
So this is Mike with Zach, and we're going to sign off, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
See ya. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week. If you liked the episode, hit subscribe, give us 5 stars, or leave a review. Like us on Instagram, quiver_cast. Music brought to you by Barry Snyder, Punk Rock Grandpa. You guys all have a good week, and I'll see you in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. There's so much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.